Man once named as a person of interest in Young Dolph's murder has now also been killed.
Important clues in solving a mystery in Memphis. Who shot and killed Young Dolph in his own hometown?
On the 17th of November 2021, in broad daylight at approximately 12:20 p.m., two individuals armed and masked arrived near Makita's homemade butter cookies. They left their white Mercedes and proceeded towards the store entrance. Their intent was clear as they brandished their weapons. Upon reaching their target, they unleashed a hail of gunfire, resulting in a tragic outcome. The victims succumbed to 22 gunshot wounds. The life lost on that fateful day belonged to a revered figure in Memphis, a rapper known as Young Dolph. His influence extended far beyond Memphis, shaping the music and culture of the entire United States during the 2010s. This is the story of Young Dolph, the events that tragically led to his demise, and how the Trula Mafia took a legend of hip-hop away from us. Adolf Robert Thornton Jr. entered this world on July 27, 1985, in Chicago, Illinois, but his family relocated to Memphis, Tennessee, when he was just 2 years old. Memphis would become the backdrop for Dolph's remarkable music journey. Growing up in South Memphis was a shared experience for many children as their parents grappled with addiction, leaving grandparents to take on the role of carers. Dolph was no exception to this narrative. He considered himself fortunate to occasionally see his parents, but the central figure in his life was his grandmother. Living under his grandma's strict rules was far from easy, but Young Dolph believed it played a pivotal role in shaping his character. The upbringing he received from his grandmother instilled in him a strong sense of responsibility. In his own words, Dolph described his grandmother as the sternest individual in the world.
I thought she was the meanest in the world.
To illustrate her influence, Dolph recalled a time when he couldn't understand why his grandmother, Ida Mae, disapproved of some of the people he associated with, never allowing him to label them as friends. However, as he matured, he came to understand her wisdom. She was preparing him for a world where people might betray you when you least expect it. This upbringing compelled Young Dolph to seek a more active role in the household as he grew older. Traditional 9-to-5 employment wasn't an option he considered. Consequently, he became increasingly immersed in street life, eventually venturing into the drug trade. Imagine a 77-year-old woman trying to raise 3 young kids in the heart of the inner city amidst gang activity and rampant drug use. That's an incredibly tough situation for an elderly lady, Dolph reflected. Dolph discovered his passion for music, and without the extensive network he built during this time, Young Dolph might never have ascended to the pinnacle of rap stardom. According to Young Dolph himself, the very streets that raised him also witnessed his transformation into a music artist. His passion for music had been with him since childhood, but he didn't start creating his own music until later in life. His family friend, Miss Tammy, describes his first steps in the music world like this.
Just had all kind of shit set up over there. Well, see, like to me at first, he used to have a lot of stuff crossed up. You know, they was putting up beats and all that stuff together. All they had it hooked up over there. And he was struggling at first, but he got it. I mean, he knew what he was doing. But to me, I didn't know because I'm 60, so, you know, that was new, all new to me.
In 2011, Dolph released mixtapes, High Class Street Music, and High Class Street Music Episode 2, marking a period of self-discovery where he honed his unique style. Young Dolph's signature deep voice and aggressive delivery of verses became recognizable. With several mixtapes and a burgeoning street reputation, Young Dolph was beginning to attract significant attention. His rising popularity eventually caught the eye of another accomplished Memphis rapper, Yo Gotti. At the time, Yo Gotti had established himself and had the opportunity to sign other artists to his record label, Collective Music Group, CMG. In 2014, Gotti extended an offer to Young Dolph, but Dolph declined. He was determined to maintain his independence and continue forging his own path. Little did anyone anticipate that this decision would ignite a long-standing feud between him and Yo Gotti that would endure for years. According to an interview Young Dolph had on The Breakfast Club, the history between him and Yo Gotti can be boiled down to 2 core issues, each leading to a cascade of consequences. First, Yo Gotti wanted to sign Dolph to his record label, but Dolph declined the offer. Second, Dolph was romantically involved with Gotti's former girlfriend. let's delve into the first issue, which centered around the proposed record deal. Yo Gotti had been persistently texting Dolph for 2 years, expressing a strong desire to have Young Dolph signed to his record label. Gotti even requested that Dolph send him a track with an open verse so they could collaborate, all before they had even met in person.
Man, on my little boy and my little girl, man, he come to me talking about let him get on the song. Know what I mean? Why you want me to get on this song? So, oh, send it to me. Send me the song with the open verse. Know what I mean? Now if it was the other way around where I'm trying to do, you gotta think this back in the day where I don't really even know the game to know nothing. All I was doing was just pulling up on everybody with a bag. Ask 2 Chainz, ask Gucci Man, ask Drummer Boy, ask Zaytoven, ask A-Boy, ask everybody. All of them got stacks from Dolph. I can't wait to pull up on you with whatever kind of book bags I was wearing back then. Now, it was the shoulder bags everybody wearing now. Yeah. That's what I was pulling up on everybody with stacks in.
In 2012, arranged by a DJ who worked with Dolph and convinced him to visit Gotti's studio while waiting for Gotti, Dolph was approached by Gotti's manager, known as Pepper. Pepper, even before Gotti arrived, advised Dolph against taking the deal. He saw Dolph as an independent artist with his own thriving career who didn't need Gotti's assistance. When Gotti arrived, they immediately engaged in conversation. Gotti acknowledged Dolph's accomplishments, recognizing his financial success, his team, and his music. However, Gotti had a grander vision beyond just music. He saw it as a business opportunity. It's important to note that Dolph was already business savvy. However, Gotti made a pivotal error while trying to finalize the deal. He spoke unfavorably about the artists already signed to his label, specifically downplaying the contributions of his artists Zilla and Starlito. Gotti portrayed them as needing constant guidance and likened them to children. He contrasted this with Dolph, whom he saw as self-sufficient and not in need of such direction.
You ain't like Zilla. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Zilla. You ain't like Starlito. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Starlito. I ain't gotta babysit you like them. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's my first time meeting you. You gonna really sit and downplay your artist and throw your artist up on the bus to try to persuade me in to come over?
Dolph was left disappointed, and the deal fell through. There was no possibility of collaboration after that incident. Furthermore, Dolph had a significant reason for wanting to maintain his independence. He didn't want people to think that he succeeded in the rap world solely because of Gotti's influence, a perception that can sometimes arise in the industry. According to Yo Gotti, the last time the two communicated was on August 24th, 2012.
Yeah, what's the date?
August 24th, 2012.
That's 5 years ago.
That's how you gotta approach this shit, homie. Just gotta stay down and make the right decisions, and you can win big, my nigga. You in a good space in Memphis, but you gotta take that shit from there to the world, and it's gonna turn into money. I like your grind, my nigga. When I was in your position, none of them niggas who could've helped me did. Our city fucked up, homie, and I'm trying to stop letting history repeat itself and show niggas we can get money together and everybody be on some ball shit, cause I gotta make sure no matter what happened, homie, I did my part to help anybody I thought could really go the distance, and you one of them niggas, homie. And even better, you got your own movement and vision. You just need a real support system, not any support system, but one that understands what you is and where you trying to go and how to reach the people you need to reach.
The second issue contributing to their falling out was Dolph's romantic involvement with Yo Gotti's ex-girlfriend. While neither party publicly admitted to this, it was a well-known fact within their circle. Dolph alluded to this relationship in his music, further straining their relationship. The tension between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti escalated with the release of several tracks containing veiled shots at each other. The first instance of this occurred in Dolph's mixtape, South Memphis Kingpin, where he featured a track titled Scared of Me. Then, on October 8, 2015, Dolph dropped his mixtape on the industry, and on the title track, he alluded to someone's baby mama directly messaging him. It didn't take a detective to figure out whose girlfriend that was. The turning point in their relationship came on February 9, 2016, when Young Dolph announced his forthcoming album titled King of Memphis. This marked a shift towards a more public and overt feud. The world beg scene was in a difficult position, as fans had to choose between Dolph and taking notice of the simmering rivalry, and the competition for the title of the #1 Memphis rapper became palpable. The situation escalated further when, on February 19, 2016, Yo Gotti released his 8th album, The Art of Hustle, on the same day that Dolph released King of Memphis. Young Dolph's life has been punctuated by perilous encounters and multiple attempts on his life over the years. The first documented assassination attempt on Dolph's life came to light during the CIAA event in 2016, a yearly celebration in Charlotte that spans from February 23rd to the 28th. Dolph was headlining one of the late-night events during this festival. The guns of two assailants ended the life of Memphis rap legend Young Dolph, and prayers for Young Dolph's extended family were offered. We're talking about those from the streets of South Memphis, specifically his fans, who gathered to reflect on the many times the 36-year-old Memphis-raised rapper would come back in order to give back. Some reports suggest that Dolph was struck by as many as 22 bullets fired by the two attackers. The news of this shocking incident generated significant interest among locals, prompting government officials to intervene. They urged citizens to remain indoors until the police department could gather evidence. Remarkably, police cars patrolled the vicinity of Yo Gotti's residence due to concerns about potential retaliation. Authorities immediately suspected a connection between Yo Gotti and the incident, deeming the risk too great to ignore. Murder investigation. Young Dolph's murder investigation now becomes a tragic casualty itself. Joshua Taylor, known as CEO Tay, met a grim fate, succumbing to fatal gunshot injuries. His name had been intertwined with the Young Dolph murder case in 2021, but no formal charges had been brought against him in connection with the rapper's killing. Consequently, the circumstances surrounding Taylor's untimely demise are shrouded in mystery. On June 14th, Memphis police made a grim discovery when they found Taylor's lifeless body inside a vehicle at the intersection of Spotswood Avenue and Bunton Street in Memphis. Subsequently, his family confirmed his identity. As of now, the Memphis Police Department spokesperson has acknowledged that no suspects have been identified in relation to this incident, and the investigation into the circumstances surrounding Taylor's death is actively ongoing. Time will reveal whether this occurrence was a response to Young Dolph's murder, or if Tay had garnered adversaries unrelated to that context. In the aftermath of these tragedies, we're left to grapple with the harsh reality of gun violence and its far-reaching impact. As we mourn the loss of Young Dolph and those connected to him, let us also reflect on the urgent need for change in our communities. Together, we must strive to create a safer and more peaceful world for all. Stay safe.